It's always Bubble Beam. But I shall shield anyway. This seems like a bad launch. Seems like a very bad launch. But I had a feeling. Did they Braver me here? They might. I'm not going to shield. Wow. We're literally making every call of this game. They burned their last shield here? That'd be kind of nuts. I don't think they do. It's probably Side Shock. I'll just let it go. Watch it be Weather Ball. Oh my god, just Weather Ball. We made every single call right here. Hey everyone. Recently, I've been playing some Show 6 Ultra League in a limited format for Sylph, and I've kind of fell in love with Charm Ninetales, but not in the sense of using a lot of fast move pressure, but really using it for kind of charge move oriented teams, but still having the Charmer. So I decided to see if I can make it work in Ultra League, specifically not running a Trevenant and not running a Walrein, because if you're running Trevenant and Walrein, you're pretty much just running straight meta these days in both Great League and Ultra League. So I decided to diversify a little bit. So the team I decided to run with is Charm Ninetales with a Galvantula and a Swampert. Swampert is definitely a little bit tough to play with all the Walreins and Trevenants around, but being one of the most reliable checks to Registeel, I kind of figured it was necessary. Before we get into the rest of the footage, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the link down below. If you look at this team, Talonflame is probably one of the toughest team to run into. So typically speaking right here, I just swap straight to my Galvantula and wait for them to throw a move and see kind of how they play it out. Sometimes they stay in, sometimes they don't. Usually if they stay in, I will throw that lunge because if they no shield discharge, it will knock them out. And now I am going for the discharge here to see what we can do. And they do double shield. So at this point, there's not really too much I could do here. So I'm just going to tank the flame charge. And then now I go for the Hydro Cannon. But this is kind of my misplay here. Because I should have known that the Talonflame is going to tie me to that Hydro Cannon. I should just try to farm down instead. And now they have both Trevenant and Walrein. This is very bad for me. Both of them beat Swampert. And yeah, so it's not going to be a good time here. And my Swampert doesn't have a lot of energy, but we gotta see what we can do here. Hopefully, they take out my... I was able to take out the Walrein, which I was able to. And now I do have the Weather Ball for the Trevenant. And I am forcing them to throw here. And this is going to be a tight situation. Being double weighted grass from an attack-weighted Trevenant, this is going to be tough. But I barely survived just to get the Hydro Cannon off. I think I made it much harder for myself than I needed to because I should be able to farm down the Talonflame there without throwing. But we made it work despite running into a Trevenant and Walrein with my Swampert. So, oh my goodness, not a fan. All right, she's out of here. All right, Cresselia, very bulky. Galvantula very strong against Cresselia, but Swampert again, you have to watch out for those grass knots. So what I typically like to do here is put it low enough in range so that a Hydro Cannon to take it out later, and then I draw out the potential dragon, and here it is. So we do get the Giratina out here. One of my favorite parts with the Galvantula here is even in bad matchups, you typically could debuff them quite a bit, so you don't have to worry if they finish off with a lot of energy. So I'm going to throw these lungers as soon as possible. And Elo Ninetales is already going to be really good against Giratina, so you're going to be at a good spot. Able to debuff quite a bit, and actually these lungers are adding up. You know, like you would think that Giratina would beat Galvantula quite convincingly, but able to keep it quite close. And let's see what they come in with here. And they come in with a Shadow Gramble. So my plan is a lot of Shadow Charm users like to shield. So they do shield. And then now what I can do is... okay, unfortunately they had to move here. So probably should have just thrown the Hydro Cannon right away. Even if they catch it, take it out. But now I double up. And hopefully they don't have a move ready. And they do not. And we're able to finish off the Gramble there. So keep it a little tight. But definitely still having some play. Walrein. Galvantula very strong against it, but Swampert not. So in many senses, this team's kind of ABB as well. If you run to a Trevenant lead or Walrein lead, you kind of just have to stay in because decent against the Walrein in the Galvantula matchup, but you just can't swap over. So I decided to swap over here and catch her Earthquake here, and now they come in with the Giratina. So this is a good sign. That means they do not have that Trevenant, otherwise they would have been farming me quite a bit. And I can still do a good chunk of damage with these Earthquakes. So I am going to stay in here and throw even a Hydro Cannon, just do some chip damage. There's not a lot of things that completely wall off what do you call it, Swampert in this meta, so you can definitely do quite a bit of damage to a lot of things. And now here comes the Talonflame. So this is where it gets dicey. When you see the Talonflame and you can't get your Swampert on it, it's going to be a tight matchup, but Galvantula is still going to do quite a bit of damage here. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to fast move this whole thing down. I'm not even going to throw a charge move. At this point, I need to get rid of their health here, and with fast moves, and we finish it off. So finishing off a Talonflame with a Galvantula and the A9 definitely shows that this team could still be quite versatile, even if they're double weak to fire. All right, Swampert leads are a little bit tougher too, because Galvantula is not going to do great against it. So you want to kind of like take it out as soon as you can with the A9, and just come in with Swampert. And it's really good they dropped their energy there. And now here comes the Walrein. So Walrein is not going to it's going to do pretty solid against the Swampert, but I'm going to throw as much energy as possible here, and we just barely get to Earthquake. Unfortunately, they get to move 2. I kind of feel like it's worth just shielding here and getting this guaranteed Earthquake damage for another shield, and they actually no shield it, and they come in with Tapu Fini, a new recent Pokemon introduced to Pokemon Go, and I go straight for this charge, and they no shield, but they do still get to Surf here, so that's going to do a good chunk of damage, which is actually pretty crucial for them, because now the Icicle Spear is enough to take me out. Unfortunately, at this point, I remember specifically in this game, I was not doing a great job of keeping track of their energy. They farmed a lot off of my Swampert here, so I'm going to burn their timer here by throwing a Weather Ball and try to catch. Unfortunately, we do not get the catch here. I don't know if they had enough energy or they just got it by farming down my Swampert. But either way, a good play by my opponent there. All right, Tapu Fini. We just saw it before, and now we see it again. We see it now in the lead. A pretty solid Pokemon, especially in Ultra League, being it's pretty much a Azumarill of Ultra League, and it does pretty good in a meta filled with dragons and fighters, and also steels, and a bunch of ground types too. So, all right, so we're gonna just take out that G-Fist there. I did not really want to have to worry about tanking Earthquake and potentially get baited by Rock Slides. I figure I could get a shield back, which I do right there, which is perfect. So now we are in an okay spot, and then they come in with the Regiseal. So typically speaking, I'll probably swap out of the Tapu Fini, but they swapped out first, which means that they probably have 2 reliable checks to that Lone Ninetales, and it looks like they have Double Seal, which is kind of perfect for my team, because you have 2 things that beat the Steels, especially if it's switch advantage. G-Fist is much harder to beat in the lead, or if you don't have the Swampert on it, but if I had the pick of the choosing, it kind of worked out perfectly. And then now, yeah, we can just do quite a bit here. I'm going to go straight for the side shock. Let's see if they shield. They no shield, and then this is good, because I could probably just charm all the way down at this point, and they are going to concede. All right, Kommo-o, another new Pokemon this season, and very weak to Ninetales, and so that's good. And then I'm going to come in here with my Galvantula, and planning on no shielding this. Ended up being Future Sight, which is kind of bad. If it was Moonblast, I think it would be a different story. But unfortunately, that Future Sight actually puts me quite low, and I'm really contemplating, do I shield this or not? They're so low, I think maybe I could survive. And I do not survive the Moonblast here. I thought maybe they might have been even running Grass Knot, who knows. But now we're in a tough spot. They have Regiseal on my Ninetales, and they have Kommo-o on my Swampert, which is going to resist all this water damage as well. My only win con here is I need to get those 2 shields and land Earthquake. Do I go for double baits or throw the Earthquake when hoping they don't shield? I'm just going to go for double baits, and we get the double bait here. Can we make it to Earthquake in time? And I farm up a little extra, because I figured, you know, they can't lock on me down anyway, and we have some neutral lag there, but we finish it off, and they, yeah, top left when they see that matchup. So working out perfectly there. I probably could have made it myself a little bit easier by just, yeah, by just winning switch there, but we made it work. So definitely a close one for sure. All right. You you know, against Swampert safe swaps, this is kind of similar to if you were running Swampert in the lead here, and I come in and eventually swap out here to tank the move. And we're going to kind of see why this might not have been the best idea. So they come in with the Giratina here, and anytime you see them running something weak to Charm in the lead, they probably have something for Charm in the back. So Swampert is kind of a soft check. It's not really a check to Alolan Ninetales, but they might have a Poison in the back. They might have a Steel, and it's a Talonflame, which is not great because, I mean, if it was a G-Fist in the back, or Nidoqueen, Venusaur even, like, I'm kind of in a bad spot either way, right? So what I should have done there, in hindsight, is just stay in with the Ninetales, finish off the Swampert, 2 shield it, they come in Giratina, I pivot out, we draw out, or they come in Talonflame, we pivot out to Galvantula, and then we finish it off with the Swampert when they pivot back in. So always got to keep that in mind, because you only have one reliable check to fire, one reliable check to ground poisons, I guess, so like Nidoqueens. So yeah, anytime you can preserve that Swampert, the better. All right, my opponent here is going to go straight Shadow Ball here. I'm going to go straight for that Discharge, and we are able to finish it off. So we stay on 1 shield apiece, which is nice. And then they come in with the Politoed. They do a great catch on with this Weather Ball. I'm going to farm it quite a bit here, and then I am going to come in with my Swampert here. Let's see if we catch anything. We do catch Weather Ball, which is nice. They probably have Earthquake anyway, so it would have been neutral either way. I'm just going to stay in here and do what I can. And they throw another move here. I don't think I get this Hydro Cannon off. Unfortunately, I do not. But I'm going to go straight for the Side Shock. And this is good because I know I survive anything that the Politoed throws at me, and they actually don't get to move, which is perfect. If this is superpower, they're just debuffed, and if it's not superpower, that's fine. It is, and I still have a shield, so I can go straight for this Weather Ball and take out this Bewear. Another new Pokemon this season. Definitely cool to see it in action in Ultra League. All right. Shout out Machamp, really solid here. But again, when they have that safe swap Swampert, it does put you in a tough spot. So I wonder how these teams deal with Trevenant leads. I'm actually kind of curious. But anyway, we do the same swap over here. Again, it's possible they have a Ninetales. They have a, what do you call it? A Talonflame in the back here. But the lucky part here is even if they do have a Talonflame in the back here, we have 2 Pokemon that can handle the Machamp, so that's okay. I'm going to farm up a little extra energy here, and it looks like they shield again, and then now they come in Machamp. I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake. This should come close to one-shot in the Machamp. Not quite, though, but we CMP tie, which is perfect. They waste all their energy here. I can finish off with Ninetales. And let's see what they have here. I'm actually going to shield this. You know, I still have the Galvantula, which could definitely finish this off. But what if they have a Ninetales or Nidoqueen in the back? I would be in a tough spot, right? So I figured maybe I need to land a Weather Ball or something, or even on like a Talonflame. But ended up working out. It's just a Muck. Although they do have the Sludge Wave, so that's definitely a little uncomfortable. But we do get to the second launch to take it out. And yeah, that's going to be the match. All right, Drapion. It's not great. Charm is neutral, but they do have potentially Sludge Bomb, which is going to do a lot of damage. I'm going to no shield here and see what happens. I know I live a crunch either way, and honestly, if they want to shield here and stay in, I could just match shields. So I'm going to match that first shield, mainly because I don't really need to win this matchup, but I want to be able to farm down with Swampert and for them not to be able to swap out easily. So I need to burn the timer a little bit, otherwise I'm stuck in a matchup with Swampert and they could bring in Trevenant. So now our timers are both up. They recognize that too, so I think they're just going to stay in as well and let me farm a bunch of energy, which is perfect. Get a ton of energy there. Let's see what they come in with. And they come in with, what was it? Umbreon. And now they have their own Charmer in the back, Sylveon. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So they avoided the Umbreon against my Ninetales, but I do get to my moves a little bit quicker than their Charmer, Sylveon, because Weather Ball's just a little less energy. So we are able to take it out. I just had a shield here. Just even a few Charms against this Umbreon is going to do a lot of damage, as you can see there. So it's well worth it. And I still have energy on my Swampert here, so this is going to be very nice. And I'm going to just start throwing these Hydro Cannons right away. And we should be able to take it out soon, and they do concede the match right there. Was I able to make a less toxic, charm-heavy damage team without relying just on fast move damage? You can be the decider of that, but let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye.